What it do, NMA crew? Hey man, listen. Happy Halloween. Hope y'all are staying spooky out there or spooked or whatever you want to do. I hope everybody has a great Halloween, but I'm here to rant for Funky Boy Haas on Patreon, who asked me to rant about the album Ghosts by Big Rec. I was not familiar with Big Rec, though now I do know that they are Canadian, which is pretty funny. But yeah, no, this album was really good, and I will say it's one of those things where Funky Boy usually asks me to rant about two albums, but after asking me to rant about one album, I feel like I should probably set one album as the limit, to be honest, because this, all right, something's beeping. I don't know if you guys can hear that, because this felt like a lot better. This felt a lot more naturalistic to rant about, but. The tough part is I still suck about talking about music, which may rear its ugly head even more so this time due to the fact that usually Funky Boy requests that I listen to like rap albums or hip hop albums, stuff that's like very lyrically focused and dense, which I'm able to talk about pretty freely. But this album has a little bit less of a focus on that. Like, it's long enough to where there is still a lot to unpack and digest on that front, but at the same time I feel like the instrumentation takes more center stage than in the usual Funky Boy Haas recommendation, if that makes any sense. But it was really good. I really actually appreciated the instrumentation. It was very powerful. I went into this not knowing what to expect. Like, I saw the album cover and I was like, what is this? Is this like AI slop? But it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I mean, no shade on the album cover. I just got a weird vibe from it. And then it started, and I was like, oh, wait, no, this is way more energizing and soulful than I was anticipating. It's a very nice album to listen to. That first track was actually stayed as one of my favorites. Let me pull up the track list here. I think one of my favorites is also War Baby. I think it was like the penultimate one. But yeah, Place to Call Home was super good. What else was really, really good? I liked War Baby, as I said. A Place to Call Home. The titular track Ghost. Obviously, that was like the catchiest one, I guess. Like that was clearly the lead. That was the lead single or whatever they say. Off and Running was really good. Yeah, those would probably be like my favorite ones. Off and Running, Ghosts, A Place to Call Home, I Digress, and War Baby. But there was a lot of good songs on here. It seems to be like thematically about the ghosts of your past, like growing past them, whether that be stuff passed down to you by your parents or remnants of like a lost relationship, or more so a relationship that's sort of turned sour and still clinging on to that idea of the person who once existed but now just exists in your head, sort of toxically. It's something that I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to. Everybody is to some extent, we're just all so deeply influenced by the past, and it's so hard for us because we resist change to let people change in our minds. Like, your first impression of somebody is so powerful, and then I feel like a lot of people, almost especially with someone you care about, you just don't want to change what you think of them in your head, not only because it'll force you to maybe have to confront the fact that they're not a good person to keep in your life or to emulate, or that they're not necessarily super trustworthy, but also just because change is just a difficult and uncomfortable thing for people to come to terms with in a lot of senses. Like, if you don't have to, I feel like it's pretty natural in human nature just to not think of things any differently. Just to assume that things are largely the same and that your original hypothesis about somebody was correct. Which, leads to a lot of turmoil and heartache down the line. And you can see that manifest in many different ways, just as I talked about in this album, familially, in terms of relationships, in terms of old friends. I've definitely experienced that one quite a bit. With people who I've sort of grown apart from. They reach out to me and we just can't relate anymore, you know what I mean? Because not only do they change, but also you change. Your needs change, the type of person you want to be, your goals, your outlook on life, everything changes. And it's important to keep that in mind, and not necessarily to judge people, Not necessarily to say like, oh, well, these people don't deserve to be in my life or these people are a bad influence or anything, but just be more critical, like be more perceptive, I guess, about it. Like not necessarily judging, but just noticing, which is like a douchier word for judging. Yeah, but I really like this album. I thought there was some really cool instrumentation. I liked the vibes. I liked the emotions. Thought it was very funny that they are indeed Canadian, and it just felt so appropriate. I'm not sure if Funky Boy did this on purpose. That he during Spooky Month he had me rant about an album called Ghosts, but I really did enjoy it, even though I unfortunately don't have much to say about how I appreciated the instrumentation because I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to music. But yeah, I really liked this one. I'm down to do more single album rants in the future, but I'm probably going to have to say no to double album rants, to be honest. I hope everybody has a happy Halloween, and that's about all I have to say about this one. You guys take it easy.